If you've ever had tape-in hair extensions fitted before and they were uncomfortable, I completely understand why you'd assume that that's just how they are. But in most cases, that's not a tape-in problem, that's a fitting problem. And there's a very, very big difference. So let's start with the straightforward answer. Tape-in hair extensions should not hurt. Full stop. In the first 24 to 48 hours after fitting, you might feel a little tightness while everything settles into place, and that is completely normal. Think of it like wearing a new pair of shoes. There's an adjustment period, but it shouldn't be painful. What's not normal is ongoing pulling, soreness at the roots, or that specific kind of headache that feels like it's coming from your scalp. If that's happening, something isn't sitting right, and we'll get into exactly what the causes usually are. First though, let's talk about why tape-in hair extensions are actually designed to be one of the most comfortable methods. Unlike some other methods that grip or clamp at the root, tape-ins work completely differently. They sit flat against the scalp, they spread weight across wider sections of hair, and they rely on adhesion and placement, not tension. That combination is what makes all the difference. When everything is done properly, the hair moves naturally, the weight feels balanced, and day-to-day wear feels easy. Most clients after a few days aren't even thinking about them, and that's exactly how it should be. So if that's the case, why does discomfort happen at all? In most situations, it comes down to how the hair extensions have been applied, not the product, but the application. So let's break that down. First, the placement is too close to the scalp. That's a very specific placement zone. Too close, and every time the hair moves, brushing, styling, even turning your head, you feel pulling at the root. It doesn't take much, even slightly too tight, and you'll notice straight away. Second is incorrect section size. This is where balance really matters. Too much natural hair between the tapes and the bond won't sit properly. Too little and you create excess tension. Both can lead to discomfort and both affect how long the extensions last. Third, extensions that are too heavy for the natural hair. This one is often overlooked. If the weight doesn't match the hair that it's attached to, the root is under constant strain. You might not feel it immediately, but over time it builds. Soreness, sensitivity, and that constant awareness that something doesn't feel quite right. Fourth is poor weight distribution. Even if individual placements are correct, if the overall balance across the entire head isn't right, you'll feel it in certain areas more than others. And fifth is a rushed or imprecise fitting. If sectioning isn't precise or placement is treated as just close enough, then usually you'll see both comfort issues and performance issues at the same time, because the same detail that creates comfort also creates longevity. And this is the key point. Discomfort doesn't happen on its own. It usually comes with other signs. Tapes start to become visible, movement or slipping, and shorter lifespan. So when someone says their tapes feel uncomfortable, that's often just the first sign that something isn't quite right. So let's reset the expectations. What should tape-in extensions actually feel like? They should feel flat against the scalp, lightweight and balanced. They should be easy to brush, easy to style, without pulling and without resistance. You'll be aware of them for the first few days, and that's completely normal. But after a few days, you should be getting on with your day. That's the benchmark. Now, if you aren't meeting that, give it 24 to 48 hours first. Let everything settle. Avoid tight styles. But if that discomfort is still there after that, go back to your stylist, get it checked, and don't try and work around it. Because something is placed incorrectly, it won't fix itself, and it's worth dealing with early. Ongoing tension at the root can lead to breakage, increased sensitivity, and a shorter lifespan overall. What starts as discomfort can turn into a bigger issue if ignored. Tape extensions should not hurt, and if they do, it's usually placement, weight, or application. But when they're done properly, they're one of the most comfortable, natural feeling options available. So if you're considering taping hair extensions, we've answered more of the most asked questions in the links below, and you can look at the full tape-in range from Roots Hair Extensions.